Miles, Ollie mentioned yesterday that Game 2 is going to be an elimination game for one of the two teams, and you're a guy that he trusts with that sort of pressure on the line. What does that mean to you to hear him say that?
Makes me feel pretty good. That's a do or die game, for us or them, or it's a clinch game for us. So, that's a big game to be a part of, and I'm excited to get the opportunity to start it.
Katie.
Miles, when you look at your rotation as a whole, Ollie mentioned all 5 starters will be on the wild card roster. There's some serious depth and versatility there. What do you think is the biggest strength about the way that you can use your rotation in this best-of-3 series?
When you've got a lot of good arms there, you can deploy guys for one inning or multiple innings and get starts and have some insurance in case things go wrong early in a game. Having a lot of your starters in the bullpen, gives you the opportunity to maybe play more matchups as a game goes on, or have extra guys in case a game ends up being extra innings or a little bit longer. And it just, gives everyone a little bit more cushion and, maybe peace of mind knowing that you have so many good arms on the roster.
Jeff?
Miles, when you look at playoff games played at this ballpark, there's only going to be 2 between your 2 starts here. There's been a lot of road for you in between those 2 starts. What does it mean to sort of travel that and then get back to a position where they can rely on you in a game like that?
I love pitching here in St. Louis, and it's nice to have that trust, and hopefully the fans trust me, and I know they're going to show up and be loud, and it's going to be a heck of a game.
Other questions for Miles? Derek?
Miles, just wanted to get your thoughts on what you got out of your last postseason experience. It was a little bit, you finished a game in extra innings, you started 2 games, you had a real superb start against Washington, but not much run support. Just what you learned from the playoffs in those 3 appearances.
I think my biggest learning experience was probably that first game in Atlanta. I think I walked the first 2 guys, which is, I don't walk a whole lot of guys, let alone the first 2 guys of the game. So I think just that initial, maybe that the first playoff game nerves, I think those are gone. I was able to settle that down, obviously, in that Washington start and have a good one. But, it's a really important game, but it's still, just a baseball game. The strike zone's the same. I've faced the Phillies before. Their hitters are the same. Maybe they're a little more locked in. I'm more locked in because it's the playoffs. So, everything's kind of the same. It's just a lot more important of a game, I guess.
Does it take something in the warm-up to not try to rev that up, or not, do you have to kind of stick to this notion of, hey, steady heartbeat, even like it is an August start?
Yeah, I think that's where the comfort of a pregame routine comes into play. I'm going to start stretching an hour before. We're going to have our pregame scouting meeting. I'm going to do some more stretching, go through my calisthenics, my jumping jacks, and this and that, and get loose, just like I have for every other game. So I think that kind of not necessarily tricks your body, but it keeps you on that same pace that you've been the whole year. And I think if I just keep that routine, that's where those routines kind of come in handy, those big games, keeping everything the same, keeping it simple, and going about my business as usual.
And last time, with the crowds that you guys have had over the last really month because of 700 and other stuff going on, has warming up been a little bit like a playoff? Has there been crowds? Have you kind of felt that buzz in the ballpark already as you start going?
Yeah, especially during the games. I don't know, not so much as warming up, but during the games, absolutely. How loud the fans have been getting for Albert and Yachty and Waino, and just kind of hearing that and getting used to it might not be as big a shock when I'm out there. Not going to have to step off and kind of take it all in. I've been taking in all that noise for the last couple months now, so I think I'll be all right.
Ben?
Do you think that you guys are more prepared to win in the postseason in advance because there are guys on this team who obviously have won it all, but also guys who have gotten in and tasted it and described what you just described in learning maybe how to take a better approach at it after a taste? There's a good mix there of guys who've been to the mountaintop and guys who've looked up at it and said, okay, well, how do I make a better run at it next time?
Yeah, I think the more guys you have with playoff experience, the better. I know we've got, Matz and Montgomery and Q are here now. They've all got some playoff starts under their belt, which is great. And, we've got, obviously, Albert back, who's got tons of playoff experience, and he's sharing with everybody. Same thing with Yachty and Wino, you got some guys that have been there, and Goldie and Arenado have been there a little bit now. So, the more experience you get, the more prepared you are. And, everyone's always in our clubhouse really good sharing their knowledge and, kind of helping other guys that might need it or are asking questions. And I think it's, going to be one of our strengths going into these games.
John, up here in the front.
Miles, for most of his 18 years, Adam has been the guy, the game one guy, the game two guy, whatever. Ollie said when he told him, hey, we're going to need you out of the bullpen, and he said maybe that's the seventh inning, maybe that's the ninth inning, maybe it's the third inning. He said Adam was like, whatever you need, whatever, he was all in on whatever you need. What does that say about his, team player mentality?
I think it says a lot. I mean, if there's one thing I know about Adam is that he wants to win, and he'll do anything that the team asks of him for us to get that win. That's the most important thing on his mind. I think everyone in the clubhouse's mind. I mean, if they asked him to pinch hit, I'm sure he'd love that too. Anything we need from him, and I think anything we ask of him as a team, I think he'll have it. He's the kind of guy that steps up big in those situations, and whether he's starting or relieving, or if he gets his way pinch hitting, I think he'll get the job done any way he has to.
Miles, as far as your preparation for tomorrow, has burning sage played a factor in that? I mean, I know that was something you did.
That's something I do sporadically, but something I got to hold in my back pocket till we really, really need it. I think. So see how we do today. I think we got a really talented group. They don't need all the all the, I don't know what the right word for that is, but all the goofy nonsense. I think we got plenty of good hitters. They don't need any magic tricks. We're just going to go out and take it to them for first game.
Derek.
Mom, speaking of goofy nonsense, the
yeah, I got a lot of that.
yeah, the way the personality of this, you've been with the Cardinals now for a while, and there can be a business-like atmosphere. Some guys are all about business, and some guys have fun. How have you seen the blend of this team's personality kind of take shape, especially as Albert returned to it, Yadier was there for his last year, and then along the way, Lars joins in?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think you need guys in the clubhouse to balance it out. You need guys that are always, maybe a little overly serious, not smiling so much, to balance out the goofy guys like Lars and myself. And I think it has become a really fun group. When Lars can get, Goldie to smile and stuff like that and laugh and goof around, we're always, kind of watching that. And, it's fun. He brings a lightness to it, and I think it helps us, even in some of the tough parts of the season we had. You look to guys like him to keep things light and make people laugh and keep us in a good mood, and that's something that he does. And, then he'll go out and hit a couple home runs for us too, so that always helps. But it's been a huge part of our success, I think.
That last part I wanted to ask you about is Lars was struggling for that first half, but maybe you didn't see it in his personality. But did you kind of get a sense when he returned what he brought to the clubhouse?
Yeah, I think with a lot of players, more of your personality is able to come out the better that you're doing. And sometimes you kind of retract a little bit when you're not doing so well, and you're just really trying to focus on baseball and not so much other stuff. But he's one of those guys that never gets too down. You never really see him too unhappy. And then when he came back up and started hitting really well for us, his personality blossomed a little bit, and it's really, really fun to see.
Bob.
Hey, Miles, it's been a few years since you guys have been able to play a postseason game in front of your own fans. Have you guys talked about that at all, just the excitement level in that clubhouse?
Yeah, we all know it's going to be exciting. The fans are going to be loud. Adams even told us, as long as he's been here, these last couple months with Albert and Yachty saying their goodbyes, the crowd's been about as good as it's been since he's been here. They've been incredible, and we're just looking for more of that St. Louis support. We got some of the best fans in baseball, and we're real thankful for them and real proud of them.
Any last ones for Miles? Take one more then.
Miles, this is probably more for the Phillies, but have you experienced any difficulties with PitchCom And do you think it could be a story in the postseason as stadiums get louder and louder? There could be some problems hearing it, perhaps.
Yeah, we've got some. They've got like some other attachments for the pitch, like the ones that catchers use. I think they've talked about using those, or like an earpiece, or there's like a little tube, and they can make a little cut in the hat to make it a little bit louder. So I know there's some things, and I'm sure if we've figured it out, every other team has figured out a way to make it louder. But yeah, there's been some games where you kind of, you see pitchers putting their glove over their head trying to kind of figure it out. And, with nobody on base, you can always go back to signs. We still have our sign cards. If for some reason we have to do that, that might be something we probably should deploy if it becomes an issue. But those pitch comms are pretty neat. They're pretty great. And we just need to be a little bit louder. But maybe if it gets too loud, I've always wondered if it gets really loud and you've got the volume way up and then you get that silent moment. And then you're going to get that pitch, and it's going to be so quiet, like maybe the batter hears it. So I don't know. That would be an interesting story, You hit a game-winning home run. Well, it got dead silent, and I heard the pitch comm go fastball inside. So that would be that would be a neat one.